Big changes are happening to the ACT in the fall of 2025 and beyond. For those of you planning to take the test then, you'll have to take the new enhanced ACT. Let's explore what's different about this new test. So if we look at the breakdown of the old test, you'll see that this is what the old test used to look like, and then they used to have this thing called the experimental section. Students would have this 5th section and they would just take these extra practice questions, but most people knew that it didn't count towards anything. So with this new test, they've reduced the number of questions on average. They are also giving students more time on average, but within the questions, they're embedding these things called FTs. These are called field test items. So within the questions, you won't know which actual questions will count towards your composite score. And then if you look over here, this is what the timing used to be. It used to be basically a 3-hour and 15-minute test. Now, with the new test, if you include the science, it's only going to be about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So we can compare the time per question on the old test versus the new test. So if you see on the leftmost column, this is the time for the old test per question. And then you see over here with the English section, you get 6 more seconds per question. On the math, you get 7 more seconds per question. Then on the reading, you get 14 more seconds per question. So that really can help students who are running out of time on the reading section of the old test. With the science section, you still get 7 seconds more per question. So let's take a deep dive into how the format of the test is going to change. So with the English section, they're now adding stems to the questions. So it used to be on the old English test, they would just give you the answers and expect you to choose one. Now they're going to ask you a question per question. So it used to be on the test that you would just get a bunch of random questions with like A, B, C, D. But now on the new test, they have these question stems that says, which choice makes the sentence most grammatically acceptable and stuff like that. This is a small thing, but they used to not have persuasive essays on the English section. Now they will have one. On the math one, you used to have 5 answer choices to choose from. Now they're reducing it to 4. I'm not sure why. I don't know if that'll help students. I think they did the study and they found that 5 versus 4 doesn't make a huge difference for most students. This is a strange one too. So they're reducing word problems. So word problems used to fall under this category called integrating essential skills. They're reducing the number of word problems on the test. They're also reducing the ones that take a longer time to read. And then they're also reducing the number of advanced topics. So it's not that these subjects won't show up. They could show up. They're just going to show up with less frequency than you're used to. On the reading, they're just making some of the reading passages shorter and giving you more time to do it. So that's the section that I feel like students are going to benefit from the most. Now science, this one's going to maybe make some students angry. It used to be that you had very few questions that required outside knowledge. They're increasing the number of questions that require a little bit of outside knowledge. And then one of the passages is going to require you to understand a little bit of how to design an experiment.